Hello, we are Jim and Marissa Stamberg. We serve with a mission called Send International, and our specific field that we serve on is called Send North. And we are based out of Anchorage, Alaska. We've been up here in Alaska going on 12 years now. Our first 7 years we lived in a village called Naknek, where we did a variety of things, everything from youth ministry to pastoral ministry to a little bit of aviation support. And for the past going on 5 years now, we've been in Anchorage, Alaska, where I've served as part of the leadership team for Send North. Currently, I am the area director and oversee our leadership team for Send North. So a little bit about what we're doing. Send North is a mission focused on church planting and disciple making, primarily in the remote and rural areas of Western Alaska or Bush, Alaska, and Northern Canada. That would include Yukon, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. So for the past 5 years now, we've been here in Anchorage, and Marissa's going to tell you a little bit about our family.
We have 3 children. Dawson, who is 15, almost 16, he'll be 16 this summer. Brennan, who
starting to drive.
Yeah. And we realized we can't get the night hours in because it's too
late
here.
Yeah, he's supposed to have 10 hours of night driving in to get his license before this summer. And that's getting challenging now. The days are getting long.
Something we didn't quite think about. And we have our 7-year-old is Brennan, and we have an 8-month-old named Kara. And they are all healthy and happy right now. We are snug in our little home and we're all stuck inside here like you are. And our boys are doing online school, so we're doing kind of a conglomerate of a little bit of mom trying to homeschool and a little bit of classes online with the teacher. So that's every week looks different, and we're navigating that. And Dawson's pretty much self-sufficient with that. But Kara's just happy, and she's a tough critic. She doesn't like to laugh as much as the rest of us. So
she's happy. She
smiles a lot, but
yep.
we're always trying to get her to laugh, and it's kind of like an unspoken competition who can get her to giggle. So she is a lot of entertainment for us, though, which has been really fun during this time of being stuck at home.
So one of the questions we were asked is what's going on with our life and ministry in light of the COVID-19 virus. So personally, it has changed where I do most of my day-to-day work from. We do have an office here in Anchorage and a small team of folks that work out of that office, but right now, the only one of us that's regularly working out of that office is our accountant. All the rest of us are working from home in light of the social distancing guidelines, just like everybody else. But the practical aspect of what I do hasn't really changed much. A large part of my work anyways is communication related and working with our leadership team, which is scattered all across Alaska and Canada. So I was already kind of used to that. It's just changed where I do it from, not really what I'm doing. And in light of how quickly things are changing and developing, I would say, if anything, it definitely hasn't decreased my work. It's just, as any leadership role, you're trying to stay ahead of what's going on and foresee different events and make decisions and long-range planning. We've already had to cancel a couple of different events that we had planned for this spring, and we're examining other events that we have coming up now in May and August to decide whether we should hold those things. And one of the big ones is our annual conference for all of our membership here in Anchorage in August. Welcome your prayers for whether we should still host that or not. It's a big question mark at this point. Specifically for the people in our mission, our frontline missionaries, so to speak, many of them are in very small remote communities. Oftentimes internet is not great in those places. So, in one sense, it's excellent because they are right there with the people. But in another sense, it's challenging because it's a very relational ministry. So they're just as committed to sharing Christ and making disciples in their communities as they ever have been. But a lot of it is what they normally do is very relational, sitting down with people over tea or going on a hunting trip with somebody or having a small group Bible study. So they're having to really get creative on what that looks like. They can't just do the big church, broadcast everything on the internet. Some communities can do some of that kind of thing, but they don't have all the tech personnel and resources to really make it look good. So some of them are using Facebook Live or YouTube, but sometimes it's as simple as using the local Marine band or VHF radio that the community uses to talk to one another and just broadcasting some verses on that locally. Some people are using Facebook to connect with people. Sometimes it's just as simple as putting a piece of artwork that points to Christ in their window, so when neighbors walk by their window, they see something that points to Christ. So they're trying all sorts of different things, and it's challenging, but yet it's what ministry, missionary work is all about, is figuring out creative ways to share Christ, no matter what the barriers are. So our team is, in some ways, it's out of their comfort zone in some ways with the changes, but yet at the same time, it hasn't changed the heart of what they do in any ways.
In fact, it has probably, this whole situation weighs very heavy on so many of our missionaries and on our hearts, as the people that we work with out in the villages already come from very dysfunctional homes. So you can imagine they are stuck, these kids that don't feel safe in their home are stuck in their home. It with, parents that aren't responsible, maybe neglectful, abusive, and so it weighs really heavy on all of our missionaries' hearts and minds to continue to reach out to their neighbors in any way that they can find possible.
This is a time of the year that suicide rates often spike to begin with, and so you have just this horrible, mess of isolation, staying in your home, and so yeah, definitely be in prayer for the people of the North. I'm sure this is something that's going on all around the world right now. I've read articles on domestic violence rates spiking and things like that, but it's especially a concern for the people of the North. So we would appreciate your prayers with that. Otherwise, yeah, we just ask for prayers for wisdom in my role and the folks that I'm working with, that we would be able to lead our ministry well, and just that God would continue to do great things through this opportunity. I mean, in one sense, the coronavirus, you can hear Brennan in the background there. In one sense, the coronavirus is very difficult. We know it's economically difficult. We know it's creating huge health challenges around the world. But anytime there's a big disruption like this, we look at it and go like, God, what are you doing? And what are the opportunities you have for us that didn't exist before to share Christ now? So just encourage you to continue to pray into that with us. And I'm sure you guys are doing the same thing there in Michigan. And so, specifically, we've seen people that, they're tuning into these, and you guys are probably seeing it too, people that are tuning into online services, or people that are listening to things over the radio that they never would have gone to the church normally, but now all of a sudden they're hearing the gospel proclaimed and they're connecting with people in a new way. So the opportunities are huge, and so we just ask that you'd pray with us into those things. One of the personal prayer requests is just that, hey, like a lot of folks, we're enjoying the blessings and challenges of working from home right now, which in some ways is great and gives us lots of family time. In another sense, it's interesting to try and have, video conference meetings when we've got kids running out of the background, or when Kara's taking a nap, or whatever it is. So, anyhow.
Yeah, pray for our patience with one another, as I'm sure all of you are dealing with.
Yep, absolutely.
I like to joke, we have no one else to be annoyed at, so we get annoyed at each other. So just pray that we will be kind and loving towards our children and towards each other.
Thank you. So good to make a little connection with you guys. We have been planning to come down and visit this summer. So far, we still have the tickets in place. Might pray that it's clear what we should do with that. Obviously, there's a question whether we should still continue with that trip or not. But anyhow, hope we get to see you all soon. Thanks so much for your prayers and your support. Love you guys.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day.